welcome back. So, the little one's back there doing her thing. Wave to the people, lady. Wave to the people.
Hi.
She's supposed to be getting ready to take her nap so that when it's her turn to drive.
I am about to take a nap as soon as we roll out.
As soon as we roll out.
You know, I'm like a kid in the car seat. As soon as the car start moving, I'm out.
All right. So, one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, in Expedite, what are the lanes and are there any dedicated routes and stuff like that? So, there are really no lanes in Expedite. However, depending on what carrier you're with, you're going to have different carriers that have different customers that move freight on a consistent basis from point A to point B. Like one of our very first lanes that I would say we used to run a lot when we first started was Detroit to Laredo and Laredo back to Detroit. And that's because the carrier that we were with, two of their biggest customers were GM and Ford. And so, yes, so we did a lot of back and forth to Laredo and Detroit and vice versa. And we used to go to Laredo so much that we almost moved to Laredo. And this was like almost, what, 15, 20 years ago?
Close. Close enough.
Yeah, Laredo it was nothing in Laredo. Like if we would have bought one of them brand new houses in Laredo right now, and I think they were going between $90,000 and $125,000. Yeah, it would probably be worth about $500,000 now. But anywho, depending on the customer that the carriers deal with, you could find yourself going from certain places to certain places more often. And I would almost consider that kind of a lane. Typically we're feathers in the wind. So we kind of go wherever the freight takes us, and then, we just, either land in the stream and we float downstream, or we just stay in the wind and go which way the wind blows us.
Which is always a good thing, because you might get somewhere that you had never been, somewhere you might, said, oh, I would like to go there and see. Get out the truck, check it out. So just, not knowing where you're going on a day-to-day basis until you get your offer, it works for us. I like being surprised to where we're going, like when they come over and be like, ooh, oh, we about to go, ooh, oh, we're going to Vegas, ooh, just certain places that you like going, that you've been to and you want to go there again, or just anywhere that you haven't been and you want to see it, kind of thing. That's always, been a plus in my book, as
Absolutely.
far as not knowing where you're going to go from day to day.
Yeah, which pretty much leads me to dedicated routes. Unless it is extremely lucrative, we try our absolute best to stay away from dedicated routes. We have had people do dedicated routes where they've run with NASCAR and they've run with NFL football teams. We getting loaded right now, and they driving on and off here like they ain't got no sense. Anywho, we've had people do those type of dedicateds, and they had a ball doing it, because you get to go to free NASCAR races, you get to go to free NFL games, you get to go to I forget,
concerts.
Yeah,
just
concerts.
Different different little things that you get to do, because you're carrying that freight.
Right.
It's great.
So, and it's ironic that we're speaking on this, because we're actually helping out the carrier with a dedicated route right now. And typically, you know, they like to call on the ones that perform for them and get the job done to help them secure things. So they just happen to ask us, hey, do you guys want to help us out with this? It'll help you out a lot, and it'll help us out a lot because, you know, we live in Arizona, in the Phoenix area, and it's coming out of the Phoenix area going to LA, and with a round trip coming back, and then the next day going back out, and so forth and so on. So we just been running back and forth from the Phoenix area to LA and back for the last like what, 2.5 weeks now?
Yeah, I'm about to say we about on 2 weeks or so.
So you know, they made it worth our while. We were able to negotiate, you know, something that worked for us, you know, to keep us in, you know, the threshold we need to be at as far as revenue wise. And we're helping them, you know, quite possibly secure a new customer, and which means more freight for people who come out here on the West Coast, because the West Coast can be kind of dead for freight, and that's with any carrier that you go to. But I think a couple of other carriers, they have a little bit more success on the West Coast than we do. But yeah, so dedicated lanes is almost, if it works for you, cool. The only other thing that I see happening with running something dedicated, especially if it's long term, if you have to have a certain service done to your truck, like we get service done to our truck in Ohio, in Indiana, as far as our sleeper, Dallas, oh no, not Dallas no more, AA closed down. So if we need some actual service done on a specific component of our truck, that doesn't work out too well for us. I want to say thankfully, I think it's only about 2 more weeks left on this dedicated, and we can get back out to just being feathers in the wind. So that's kind of all I had on dedicated. Is it worth it? It can be, but if you get worked, it probably isn't going to be what's best for you. And lanes, you know, there aren't no proverbial lanes, but just different, you know, areas between different customers. And then you can always find another way to go, so it won't technically be a lane, because I know that's what we do. So thanks for joining us. Enjoy the ride that we're about to take you on from Goodyear, Arizona to the Los Angeles area. And it is going to be in hyperlapse, some of it, and some of it is going to be in fast motion, and some of it's going to be in regular. So enjoy the ride, and as always, thank y'all for joining us. And if you have any questions about expediting, please reach out to us. And if you have any questions about becoming a member of the Highfield family and getting in one of these wonderful expedite trucks and getting paid to drive around the country, pay close attention to the caption at the end of the video.
Highfield Trucking has hands down been the best fleet owner that we've had the privilege of working with in our almost 20-year expedite careers. Whether you have a Class B or a Class A CDL, Highfield Trucking has a truck for you. With 24/7 mentor program support, one of the best programs in the industry, you will always have someone by your side to teach you the new game of expedite. If you're interested in becoming a part of the Highfield family, please reach out at 1-833-HIGHFIELD or 1-833-493-4353 or www.highfieldtrucking.com. Recruiting is always willing, ready, and available to speak to you at your convenience.